ಶ್ರೀ ಗಣೇಶ ಶಾರದಾ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ರಾಮಾಯ ರಾಮಭದ್ರಾಯ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರಾಯ ವೇಧಸೆ ರಘುನಾಥಾಯ ನಾಥಾಯ ಸೀತಾಯ ಪತಿಯೇ ನಮಃ. Welcome to all for this session on Ramayana to chapter 28 of Kishkindha Kanda. Rama and Lakshmana, they are residing on the Prashravana hill waiting for the end of rainy season, because during the rainy season, especially in the southern part of Bharata, the roads will be flooded and there will be torrential rain during which no activity can be carried out. So, because of that reason, they were resting on the Prashravana hill while allowing Sugriva to enjoy his newfound freedom as a king. Having slain Vali and enthroned Sugriva, Rama, who was dwelling on the Malyavat plateau, said to Lakshmana, "Now the rainy season is here. See how the heavens are laden with clouds as large as hills. After 9 months, the sky, by the action of the sun's rays, has sucked up the waters of the ocean and is now giving birth to the showers. In fact, looking at the nature, enjoying the nature is one way of coming out of the depression for Rama that is happening because of his lament, because of his wailing towards Sita. Ascending to heaven by the stairway of the clouds, one might decorate the sun with garlands of Kutaja and Arjuna blossoms. The sky appears like one wounded, bound with the rags of moisture laden clouds, stained with the vivid tints of the setting sun bordered with red. With a gentle breeze as its breath, the saffron color lent by the twilight and its yellow clouds, the sky seems like one who is sick with love. Tormented by the sun's rays, the earth is shedding tears like Sita raked by grief. Emerging from the heart of the clouds, cool as camphor, redolent with the fragrance of Ketaka flowers, the balmy winds can, as it were, be sipped from the palms of the hand. This mountain of blossoming Arjuna trees planted with Ketakas and anointed by showers of rain resembles Sugriva freed from his enemies. These mountains that the dark clouds clothe as with antelope skins catch the raindrops as the sacrificial thread, their caverns filled with the wind lending them a voice. They resemble studious Brahmin disciples reciting the holy Veda, whipped by lightning like unto golden thongs. The sky seems to be crying out in pain. The flash that convulses breast of that sombre cloud is to me like Sita struggling in the arms of Ravana. When covered by dense cloud, quarters of the sky so clear to lovers are blotted out together with the moon and the stars. On the ridges of the mountain, as if drowned in tears, these Kutaja trees in full of flower that sighed for the rain rekindle love in me in the mid of the grief that overwhelms me. The dust has settled and a cold wind blows. The heat of the summer is allayed. The martial undertaking of kings is suspended, and travelers have returned to their own country. Now the waterfowl, in their haste to regain the Manasa lake, have left with their dear companions. Chariots and other conveyances no longer venture on the roads deeply rutted by continuous rain. Sometimes visible, sometimes invisible, the sky sown with clouds looks like a ocean encircled with hills. The streams carrying away the sarja and kadamba blossom assume a yellow hue from the metallic deposits of the rocks and pass swiftly on amid the cry of peacocks. The jumbo fruit, full of savour and gilded like a bee, is pleasant to the taste, and ripe mangoes of many tints fall to the ground, shaken by the wind. Clouds like high mountains, having the lightning as their banner and cranes for their garlands, give forth a reverberating sound like great elephants intoxicated with mother Jews who are about to fight. The grassy slopes of those forest tracts, revived by the rain, where delighted peacocks dance, gleam brightly under the moon at night, charged with an immense weight of water. Clouds surrounded by cranes emit a muttering sound and in constant movement journey on and on, sometimes resting on the mountain tops. In their joyous circling flight, cranes in love with the clouds assemble an enchanting garland of lotus flowers suspended in space at the mercy of the breeze. The earth, with its fresh grass strewn with tiny ladybirds, looks like a woman whose limbs are swathed in a bright green cloth flecked with red. Sleep falls gently on Keshava, the river, because this is the time when we call it as Devashayani Ekadashi, when it is assumed the beginning of the southerly movement of the sun, called as Dakshinayana, when it is assumed that Keshava will go into the sleep on that day in Vaikunta, and he wakes up on Devothana Ekadashi that comes in the Kartika. So for these 4 months he would be sleeping. That is how it is assumed. The river runs swiftly to rejoin the sea. The crane is happy to be united with the cloud. Fair ones approach their lovers with joy. See how the groves are rendered gay by the dance of peacocks, and how the kadamba trees are covered with flowers, bulls filled with desire. Follow the cows, and the earth is rendered charming by forests and fields of grain. Rivers rushed onwards, clouds discharge their rain, frenzied elephants are trumpeting, the woods grow more fair, lovers yearn for their loved ones, peacocks dance, and the monkeys have regained their zest for life. Drunk with the aroma of the blossoming Ketaka trees among the thundering cloud or thundering waterfalls, the great elephants mix their amorous trumpeting with the peacock's cries. Flowers bruised by the downpour are expelling their nectar that the bees gaily plundered from the branches of the Kadamba trees, and now it is falling drop by drop, with their abundant fruit resembling ashes full of savour. The boughs of the jambu trees are swarming with bees. Following the woodland track amid the hills, the chief of the elephants, hearing the roar of thunder behind him, halts in his tracks, lusting to fight, and deeming it to be a challenge, turns back in fury. Filled now with the humming bees, now with blue necked peacocks that dance, or great elephants in rut, the woods take on a thousand varying aspects, abounding in Kadamba, Sarja, Arjuna, and Kandala trees. The forest with a garland saturated with water resembling wine, and the intoxicated peacocks that cry and dance takes on the appearance of a banqueting hall. The raindrops, like pearls falling in the folds of the leaves, rest there happily, and the many colored birds drink of them. Delighted by this gift from the king of the gods, the soft humming of the bees, the joyous croaking of the frogs, blended with the rumbling thunder of the clouds, resembling the roll of drums, create a veritable orchestra in the forest. The peacocks with their richly decorated tails or the choir, some dancing, some calling here and there, clinging to the tops of the trees. Roused by the sound of thunder, frogs of different shapes and color waken from the hibernation and whipped by the rain croak loudly. The rivers frequented by waterfowl bear away their crumbling banks, proud of their speed, and happy in their fullness, rush towards their lord, the ocean. Sombre clouds charged with fresh rain melt into each other and resemble the rocks scorched by the forest fire, whose bases cohere with those that are equally laid bare. Elephants wander in the mid of the charming groves that are filled with the cries of intoxicated peacocks in the grass sprinkled with lady birds and planted with nipa and arjuna trees ardently embracing the lotuses whose stamens are flattened by the recent showers. The bumblebees eagerly drink the nectar from these and from the kadamba blossom that has been laid waste. Bull elephants in rut and leaders of kind disport themselves in the forest. The king of beasts abounds through the thickets, and the kings of men are enraptured and they forget their cares and anxieties while the chief of the gods is disporting himself in the clouds. Torrents of rain loosed from the sky causing the seas and rivers to overflow, flood the streams, lakes, and ponds together with the entire earth, with sheets of joy, sheets of rain falling and the wind blowing with extreme violence. The banks of the rivers are swept away, and the waters surge onward so that the familiar paths can no longer be trodden. Like kings bought in there by their servants, great mountains stand under the downpour from the clouds, which resemble rivers emptied by the king of the celestials, showers emptied by the kings of the celestials, assisted by the wind god, and seen thus stand forth in all their native splendor. The sky, overcast with cloud, renders the stars invisible. The earth is saturated with the recent rains, and the four quarters are shrouded in darkness. The summits of the mountains, washed by the rain, sparkle, their great cataracts twisting and falling like strings of pearls obstructed in their course by the jutting rocks, these mighty waterfalls precipitate themselves from the heights into the valleys like necklaces of pearls that break and scatter. Those rushing torrents, bathing the lower reaches of the rocky crests, fall into immense chasms where they find themselves imprisoned and spray resembling strings of pearls which celestial nymphs have broken in the violence of their emotions or scattered in unparalleled showers on every side. Only when the birds withdraw to the trees and the lotus closes while the evening jasmine opens, can one divine that the sun has set behind the Astachala mountain. Kings postpone their warlike expeditions, and even the army already on the march halts. Hostilities cease, for the roads are waterlogged. It is the month of wow. 1 minute. It is the month of Bhadrapada when the Brahmins who chant the Veda, the singers of Samaveda, begins their studies. Assuredly, Bharata, the king of Kosala, having collected the revenue and completed the storing of provisions, is now engaged in celebrating the festival of the month of Ashada. The Sarayu River must be overflowing its banks and the currents increasing in velocity like the shouts of acclamation with which Ayodhya will greet my return. Sugriva will be listening with joy to the sheets of rain falling, since he has overcome his adversary, recovered his consort, and regained his vast kingdom. But I, O Lakshmana, separated from Sita, exiled from my immense dominion, resemble the bank of a river that has been carried away by the current and precipitated into an abyss. My grief is without bourne. The rains close every avenue, and Ravana appears to be formidable and invincible enemy. Unable to travel on these impossible roads, I wish to make no demands on Sugriva, despite his devotion, who after prolonged suffering is reunited with his spouse. I do not desire to press for an interview on account of the urgency of his private concerns. As for that, when he has rested and the time is ripe, Sugriva will of himself remember the help he has promised me. There is no doubt of it. Because of this, I wait hopefully till the rivers and Sugriva are favorable to me. That means both rivers and Sugriva are favorable to me at the end of rainy season. O you who bear the auspicious marks of royalty, a favor obliges a man to show gratitude. Ungrateful who fail to honor the obligation wound the heart of honest men. Lakshmana, standing with joined palms, fully concurred with these words, to which he listened with extreme respect. Then, addressing the magnanimous Rama with a joyful air, he said, O Prince, the king of the monkeys will not delay in carrying out the desire you have expressed. Wait for the autumn and let the rainy season pass, reaffirming your resolution to overcome your adversary. Thus ended chapter 28 of Kishkindha Kanda in Ramayana. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puramasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Bye.